Yo, hello, this is Dasha, and this is How I'm Smart Podcast, the podcast where we talk about creative leadership in general, and specifically we talk about creative skills, productivity, how to manage yourself when you're a creative person, how to manage team when you're a creative person, and your team are creative perks, and stuff related to that. And today I want to talk about one thing that helps all creatives around the world to achieve stuff. When you have a lot of this in your life, you're probably like make things work really fast. You have excellent problem solving skills, and plus you probably know how to manage your energy. And I'm talking about stress. And stress for real is it's like a booster to your creativity actually. It's booster to everything because when you have lots of stress in your life, you probably have lots of decisions. You're always alert. You're always thinking. You're always solve your problems, and that is like I don't know. It's like the core of all that we have, like all the tough things that we have in our life. And I'm not talking about like the huge stress that we have, for example, like war. Of course, this is stress, and I'm not talking about things that happen like naturally, like death. Of course, this is stress too to those who stay alive. I talk about the daily stresses that we create for ourselves to stay alert and to just like be creative in general. And I want to talk about my history, my story in particular. Um, I am a person who, for past for past years, I've been working on my like all things related to just quitting things, quitting addictions, quitting things that I depend on, and working on my own stuff. For example, I quit smoking, I quit overeating, I quit sugar, I quit toxic environment, etc., etc. So I've been working a lot on creating the life that is stress free. Plus, for past 2 years, I live solely on like results. I live in hotels. I don't cook. I don't have like any issues that might be related to householding. And basically, my life looks so good. I could not even imagine having a life like that. Like, I literally choose a country or a city where I want to live based on my mood, based on my needs. And this sounds really exciting, right? But the thing is that in terms of my story, even having all these possibilities, even having and being grateful for that, of course, I see that I create stress on a daily basis just to keep myself alert, just to keep myself thinking on stuff, just to keep myself be aware and to work, to continue to work. And I, of course, am addicted to stress, like most creative people do. We tend to be addicted to just creating and putting ourselves in environment where we don't have any choice but to do stuff. For example, if you struggle with um, mm, if you struggle with deadlines, if you struggle with money, if you struggle with any kinds of addictions, if you struggle with toxic environment, if you struggle with losing stuff, if you struggle with being late to meetings, if you struggle with paying for, I don't know, subscriptions, or unsubscribing and then having problems with that, all of this is a sign that you are addicted to the stress too. So, why am I talking on this topic related to creativity? Is that for many years, people who work in creative fields, most of them, I speak, for example, about artists, were living in a really stressful environments where they had no money and they had to figure out what to do, and that boosted their creativity. And as we all know, when you don't have any options, you start to think, you start to find solutions. And I think that stress in general is a really, really great source of new solutions, of new decisions, and I think that it only can compete with laziness, because well, laziness is a factor influencing our progress, because our life is becoming more and more easier. And the stress is the second factor. The more stress we have, the more the more new decisions we have as well. And when you're young, when you're just like starting your stress addiction career, things might not look so bad, because well, you have lots of energy, you don't have much trauma. Even if you had a really traumatic childhood, it doesn't matter, because you have so much energy to create new problems, and you also have lots of creativity, and all this combined, you have lots of great stories, and these great stories inspire you to create things. For example, if you're an artist or a designer, you just like um, put yourself in situations where you find yourself, I don't know, with Italian mafia drinking limoncello, and you know that this is so dangerous, but at the same time it's so exciting, and also at the same time it just like boosts your um it boosts your creative vision, and gives you so much new information. You're always staying alert. That's what I'm basically saying. And it is so hard to just like see how much does stress gives us, because we as a society, we believe that stress is really bad, because it is. Because of stress we get older faster, we just like we start to feel drained. We have money issues, relationship issues, career issues, and of course, we know all the stuff that stress boosts in a bad way, but it also boosts great stuff. So when we work on ourselves, we work with our addictions, we work with our psychological trauma, but at the same time, we don't see that on a daily basis. We create ourselves these tiny stresses that like make ourselves feel alert, and make us ourselves to think about situations in general, like be smart. For example, you don't charge your phone, and you start to think where to find the charger, and you're just like always thinking, so you're in this mental exercise. And why it is important for a creative person, for a creative leader, to be aware of stress is that we are currently living in an era where even creative person can live a stress-free life. And I think that there was no such a period when a creative person could be financially independent and have like lots of money, and also work like solely on creative stuff. Of course, there were cases and there were exceptions, but in general, like creative work was not available for everyone, because this was not it was not like possible to work creatively like for masses. And right now we live in environment where creative work is really popular. I mean, social media managers, they do creative work on a daily basis, and even people who don't work in creative fields create content, and this is like highly creative. And the thing is that even with all this social media consumption, with all this social media drama, with all this news, news dooming, we are addicted to this because it brings us energy. So, I with this podcast, I just wanted to raise this topic and this and draw attention on how important it is, just to mention how much stress influences our life in a good way, so we can find a better solution um, for things that stress does to us, but in a better way for our health and for our life in general. So it stress is like really similar to drugs, because when you do drugs, this is not a propaganda. I'm not advising anyone to start that, because we all have stress. Why would you go to drugs? Stress is like 10 times harder than drugs. So when you use drugs, you just like feel excited, and probably sometimes it just like gives you either like new vision, either energy, either what else it can bring, other relaxation. Like there are like variety of things that drugs bring to you, but then you have to pay with that with your health, with your like life, with your relationship, and all the stuff related to problems that drugs do. Same with stress. First things go really nice, and then things just start to crush. So, in order to be like a leader who understands how things work and how to manage stress, because we are addicted to it, most of us are, and I speak about creatives. So, what to do is to just like start mentioning it. The step number one is just to start mentioning it. How much stress you cause in your life just because it's a habit, just because you just forgot about things. For example, you can charge your phone daily, not forgetting to do that. You can check the weather and be aware that there's going to be rain. You can pay your bills on time. You can like financially manage. I know it sounds boring for most creatives, but the thing is that you should not do all of this at once. You should start with the topics and areas of your life that cause you the most stress, and then step by step eliminating it by, and step number two, finding a better solution for yourself, because you can't reduce stress. It doesn't work that way. If you're addicted to stress, you probably can stop being addicted to stress. I know it sounds really like again like weird, but listen to me. If you create more stress in your life, and that is going to be our stress, which is the positive one, then probably you're going to feel good. What are examples of a good stress is when you're just like putting yourself off the limit. But I don't talk about like hard work and hustle when you're just like working on a project on, like probably you're dying working on this project. I talk about when you're just like pushing yourself a little bit harder and a little bit further than you would do normally. And this is not going to happen overnight. The process of adjusting this lifestyle, when you're putting yourself harder a little bit, but not as hard as you used to do, this is going to take a while, but then you're going to get addicted to this new kind of stress. And also you can make yourself a favor and also find some stresses that are good for your health. For example, you can I don't know, do some extreme sports, not super extreme, but start with something that makes yourself high in a good way. Wow. And also you can find some solutions that bring you to this point where you feel like the world is ending, and then you just like feel alive. For example, it also can be a really tiny stress when you're doing a shower and putting cold water. So this is the example of a good stress. And by changing the bad stress with the good stress, you're going to be still addicted with it, but you're going to feel better eventually. And the third step, and I think it is really important for creatives as well, is to visualize it. You should just like basically see how much trauma and drama stress causes in your life by just visualizing how it looks. And to me, what works the best, and I think that I will share this visualization with you so you can use it. I see that as how would I would say that? Sorry, I have to Google the word. So it's just it's like the heart of a fire, like the um yeah, fire cell, yeah, fire cell, I think. Yeah, it's like a flame. Yeah, it's better to say flame. So when things go off, for example, I understand that there are just like some things in my room, in my entire life, and I visualize it is as a flame that if I'm not dealing with it, it's going to burn, and it's going to burn really hot, so that I am going to be burned out too. For example, if I am not reading an email that is very important because I'm procrastinating, this is a fire, and this is a tiny fire. It doesn't cause me any pain or problems, but I'm thinking about it, and with thinking about it, I am making it like more, yeah, more bigger and bigger, yeah. So just this is one visualization that I use, but you can find your own. For example, you can just like see how stuff that you don't deal with or deal badly. For example, you don't charge your phone, can cause problems in your life. There are tons of visualization, and you as a creative can play with that and find the visualization that works for you. You just have to imagine how this stress is in your life and how it grows and how it creates more and more problems. And it's like you just by summing it up, we have to figure out, and to the main objective of this podcast is just to bring your attention to the point where you understand that you are addicted to stress, and you create all these situations and drama in your life just because you are addicted to it. You get high on stress, you get really really high on it, and you just don't feel like this is stress. You think this is life, this is your colleagues, this is your coworkers, this is your boyfriend, anyone, but not you. But the thing is that in most cases stress is created by us because we value it, we get high on it, we love ourselves dealing with problems. And I see that a lot, for example, in corporate world, where there are like always there are teams and perks that work solid work perform best when there is just like critical situation, and where's no crisis, they don't know what to do. And hopefully this podcast will raise your attention and help you to see things differently. And I gave you a piece of like advice on how to deal with it, but actually there is no one solution. This is just the ideas, so you can try them, or you can Google stuff, or you can find your own way as you're creative. But you have to be alert. You're high on stress. Hopefully, this helps. And if not, I think that you're a lucky one because you don't have this stress issue and just enjoy your life. And if not, if you this was valuable for you, please put a like button and share this podcast with your friends, because this really helps to make a better world. Since when we live in a stress-free world, we live in a better world. This is this was podcast brought to you by Dasha, and stay high and smart. Yo.